In this video lesson, we will learn how to obtain an AC voltage reading using the digital multimeter. A voltage reading can be obtained using either a clamp-on style meter or a traditional multimeter. Whether using a clamp-on meter or a traditional meter, the test leads will be used to obtain the electrical voltage reading. The dial on the meter will have to be set to the correct position to obtain the voltage reading. Set the meter to V for voltage, for either AC or DC. And for this first demonstration, we will read common household voltage, so we will set this meter to volts AC. The first location that should be checked when servicing electrical equipment is the supply outlet. Proper supply voltage should be confirmed before proceeding with further testing. A 120 volt AC electrical outlet has three terminals: the hot, neutral, and ground. The hot leg terminal delivers the supply voltage and is the smaller of the two rectangular terminals. Do not presume it is always the terminal on the right side. Some codes require the outlet to be mounted upside down, which would place the terminal on the left side. The neutral terminal is the return path for the electrical flow and will be the larger of the two rectangular terminals. The ground terminal is the round terminal. It is used as a safety device, allowing a safe return pathway for electricity in case of a short to ground. This way, it is used to prevent shock or possible electrocution. Obtaining a reading between these 3 points will help the technician determine if the proper voltage is supplied to the outlet and if the outlet is properly wired. Obtaining a voltage reading between the hot and neutral terminals should result in approximately a reading of 120 volts AC. Between the hot and ground terminals should also produce approximately 120 volt AC. Reading between the neutral and the ground terminals should be approximately 0, but must be less than 3 volts AC. Reading between the hot and neutral terminal is the most common voltage test and should result in a reading of approximately 120 volts AC. This will demonstrate to the technician that they have a complete 120 volt AC circuit. Reading between the hot and ground terminals should also produce approximately 120 volts AC. This will demonstrate to the technician that the proper power is being supplied and that there is also a good ground. This test does not prove that there is a complete circuit because the proper return path through the neutral wire is not being tested. Reading between the neutral and ground terminals should result in a reading near 0 volts, but must result in less than 3 volts AC. 3 or higher volts between the neutral and ground terminals can result in damage to electrical circuit boards. Other AC voltage testing can be performed at the connectors of the serviced equipment, such as motors, terminal strips, and circuit boards. In this picture, the connector to a circuit board is being tested for the proper supply voltage. The digital multimeter can also be used to check DC voltage by setting the dial to voltage DC. DC voltage can then be read by using the test leads. Supplied DC power can then be read, such as the power provided by a battery. When reading DC power, the color of the test leads are important. The red lead should connect to the positive and the black lead to the negative. Otherwise, the reading will be backwards or read in reverse polarity. This would result in a negative reading. This concludes the lesson on voltage testing with the digital multimeter.